What is up, everybody? My name is Kelvaar, and today we're going to be going over a VOD review of an AD carry Ezreal game. Now, much like my last video, or VOD review rather, of an AD carry Ashe game, I'm going to be making suggestions and saying things that assume that you know absolutely nothing about League of Legends. So, with that being said, anything that I mention or say is not meant in a disrespectful manner. It's more meant to get my thoughts across and just say everything that comes to my mind so you can see what I'm thinking or where it's coming from. So it's not meant disrespectfully, it's just meant in a way to help you improve potentially based on something you may or may not have missed. Now the number one thing about this game is that, or not the number one thing, but one of the things about this game is your enemy jungler is a Lee Sin. Let me go back to that. So enemy jungler is a Lee Sin, which means that since you didn't get a ward on him or a beat on where he starts, he could be potential anywhere. He could have started red, he could have started blue. I'm going to assume he starts red just because that's generally what I see Lee Sins do. And then you can assume that he'll be coming bot lane. But because you don't have a beat on him, you don't have an aggressive ward to see where he starts jungling, you have to assume that he's always going to be bot lane, just to be safe. Because Lee Sin's one of those junglers that pretty much has free reign to start wherever he wants. Another thing is they have an entirely AD team. All of their threats are completely AD. So I would be very surprised to see if anyone on this team did not go like Ninja Tabi or I very highly suggest you go Iceborne Gauntlet just based on this. But we'll see what we go into the game. So you lease Evelynn, that's good, dandy. You're against a Caitlyn Janna, which means you can poke but you can't trade because no matter what you do, Caitlyn Janna is always going to win the trade. Unless Thresh gets some really nice hooks and flays. So it's really not ideal for you to take extended trades with this Caitlyn, more sort of just poke her down with your Q and autos as best you can. But since she's Caitlyn, that's kind of difficult to do, especially with a Janna shielding her. So yeah, you're doing fine. You're playing back behind the minion wave. That's good. Now you can see that Evelynn's going top at this point, which you can assume Lee Sin's going to be around here at this point in time. Jax did get first blood, so that's good. That's really good, especially for Jax. You guys are getting pushed in, so I don't think Evelynn got spotted top side, so that's good. You guys hit level 2, all sums are still available. Evelynn's coming for a mid gank mid. Okay, not bad, not bad. Yeah, you're doing good. You're not taking trades, you're just poking her as best you can. Okay, so what happened there? So Veigar and Evelynn are pushing in the mid lane. Lee Sin comes in from top side and gets the kill and gets the double kill. Alright, so right now, like, you should be looking at what's happening. You're safe enough in lane, you're in a safe enough position and the farm is all healthy enough that you should be literally looking at your minimap, looking specifically at here. You should be dragging your minimap over to here so you can see what's happening. You need to know, did Evelynn blow summoner spells? Did Yasuo or Lee Sin use summoner spells? What about Veigar? What happened? Does Lee Sin have his double buffs? I'm assuming he does. What level is Lee Sin? Because I don't know yet. So you should be watching this happening. Granted, you shouldn't be like keeping your screen completely on it, but you should be checking back and forth periodically to make sure you see exactly what's going on. Because not everyone is going to time summoner spells. Not everyone is going to let you be aware or let you know that something happened or let you know their item spikes. So knowing that, going on the assumption that your team does not tell you all any of this information, you'd be wise to take it upon yourself to learn. So you literally didn't even look. I don't think you even tab screened, which is, yeah, you didn't even tab screen to see what happened. So yeah, you just need to be more aware of what's happening everywhere on the map. And granted, you're bot lane, so you don't necessarily need to really know, but you have to. Ooh, that was nice. That was a nice shift. But you need to have an understanding of, you know, what everyone's champion's capabilities are capable of. So if Yasuo doesn't have Ignite, or if Yasuo doesn't have his Flash, you need to know that in case he roams bot lane. It's all important information that you don't know right now because your team didn't say anything in the chat box and you didn't watch. Oh, there's their first tab in the lane phase, I think. So Yasuo has 25 and he's got 2 assists. Lee Sin's got 2. He only has 6 farm. This is information. So when he ganked there, he literally went red, or maybe he went blue, blue, wolves, red, scuttle into the mid gank. So that was his pathing. So you know that's what he did. So these are all up here. So he's definitely probably going to be around bot side soon because he's got his, and he's got his Gromp up. But since you guys are pushed in, you should be relatively safe. Lee Sin's ganking mid again. He's got 12 farm, and he's got that. Caitlyn has 26 CS, so you're doing good farming with her. You're doing good keeping up in farm, even though you're getting pushed in. Veigar dies to Lee Sin again. Again, you need to be aware of where this Lee Sin is and where he's going. He's coming down bot lane right now, so we'll see where he goes. Okay, Evelyn's top lane, kind of wasting her time. There's nothing she can get there. She should know that. You're playing fine right now. So right now your play is really... That was a good hook, but they don't have vision. Yeah, exactly. You knew that was coming. Oh, that was unfortunate. No way. Oh, that feels so bad. Oh. Alright, well, you knew Lee Sin was coming bot lane because you just saw him here. So you knew he was either coming that way or he was coming this way through your own jungle. Or he goes up through Tri-Brush, which I think is what he does. He comes up to Tri-Brush. So Lee Sin does, yeah, because Thresh lands a pretty nice hook. But it doesn't matter because Lee Sin's here to support. Does Thresh? Yeah, he does. Yeah, so he goes, and Lee Sin goes for this really silly, risky play, and he blows a lot. But now, yeah, Lee Sin's dead for that. So you guys knew Lee Sin was bot lane. That wasn't necessarily your fault, but still, having 0 wards, you didn't know what pathing he was coming in from. But what's important here is you need to be aware. You have no summoner spells. Neither does Thresh. Thresh used both of his summoner spells. So you are currently at a huge disadvantage because they have both of their summoner spells. Unless I missed something. Did it? Nope, they have both of their summoner spells. So yeah, you did get a kill, so that's really nice for you, but you really cannot... You gotta be super careful here. Evelyn is coming to support you. Evelyn, what do you... No, Evelyn. Alright, so you're doing okay. So you got a kill, and you have more farm. Yeah, that... Ooh. Yeah, you gotta be super careful with the Caitlyn there. Especially... Oh my god, that... Oof. Yeah, so, here's something that you can learn from. Is... I talked about this a little bit in my last video, but not too much. Is right here... Granted, Caitlyn isn't necessarily much of a spell slinger, but her net does a lot of damage when it's followed up with her auto and her Q. Her Q does go through minions, but her net does not. So this is an important thing that you should keep track of is, one, you have no summoner spell, so you should definitely not be walking up this way. There's no reason for you to be up there. 2, you have a perfectly good minion line right here. You could literally just stand right here and farm A-OK and maybe get hit by her Q or maybe an auto, but at least you wouldn't get the headshot proc from her net. This minion line provides a wall in which you could hide behind. So right now, if she's standing right there and you're standing right there, she can hit you. Whereas if she's standing right there and if you're standing right here, she cannot hit you with her net. So that's big. So you could have probably just been right here and farmed the rest of this wave, or maybe even you could definitely have been just right here and waited for them to get lower by the minions and waited for Thresh to get back to lane. So there's no reason for you to be moving up this direction because there's literally no safety there. So ideally you should be standing around this area right here, but you get incredibly lucky that you lived through that. How much health did you live with? 5 health. Holy shit, that's a tilter for Caitlyn. Oof. Ooh, buddy, that's tilting. So it looks like you spammed all of your abilities getting back to lane. Yeah, it looks like you definitely did. So you're about half mana right now coming back to lane, which is definitely not ideal. It's not a huge deal, but because you have tier, but being half mana is it could be a disadvantage depending upon how this lane goes. But yeah, that's not too big of a deal, so I'm just talking my thoughts out. Okay, yeah, you get pushed in. If Caitlyn was smart, she would let this freeze, but yeah, that could totally freeze for her. That is a perfect setup, or she would let it push back into her tower if she was smart. But she's going to keep pressure up on you. Yeah, see, if Caitlyn let this push up at the tower, you guys wouldn't be able to farm it, because Lee Sin is just farming mid lane, and he has complete control over this bot side of the jungle. Veigar dies again, but he does get a kill on the Lee Sin. So Caitlyn makes a mistake here. So that's good for you. That allows you to keep farming under tower safely, relatively safely. Yeah, and this is pretty much how it's going to go for the entirety of the laning phase, unless something big changes it. Ouch, jeez, that hurt. So you're pinging for assistance from Evelyn. This is risky because we have no idea where Lee Sin is. This is actually incredibly risky. And they know it. Somehow they know it. Do they have a pink ward up there? I can't tell. So one of the biggest problems that I see with your playing is that you are completely and utterly zoned into the bot lane. Is you only are thinking about right here on the minimap. That's all your mind is working with. You're literally only see this, and that's all that's happening in your mind. You need to be looking top lane. Lee Sin's ganking top lane. You need to be looking mid lane. You need to be assuming positions of enemies, or enemy junglers, enemy laners, if you don't see them on the minimap. And right now, I have not seen you, I have literally not seen you once look mid lane or look top lane yet, at 10 minutes into the game almost. So, your map awareness may be better than I'm assuming it is, because I don't know what you're thinking, but based upon what you're doing, you're getting zero information from this other than Lee Sin is top. You don't know what items he has, you don't even know what items Kled has. You might, I don't remember, I don't know if you do, but you don't know what summoner spells are up. You know nothing about what's happening top lane. You know TP is happening top lane, you know Lee Sin's top lane, that's about it. So you're getting the minimal amount of information out of what's happening on the minimap, where you could be getting a lot more. Couple that with the fact that you're not using tab very frequently, which gives you a lot more information. But you do this correctly. You do push in this bot lane because you know Lee Sin's bot lane or top lane, and you have Evelyn bot lane to support you if you need it. So you do this right, but they're going to be able to push it right back out because it's Caitlyn, Janet, and they're safe. So what happens? Let's move to the next part. Oh, you get dove. Okay, good. Okay, so yeah, that's unfortunate. Okay. So let's look up to the events leading towards that, alright? So 10-10 right now. Yasuo's mid lane. Lee Sin is missing. He was top, but you can assume he's heading bot since he just ganked top successfully. So Yasuo is in mid lane. You see him moving off towards this side of the jungle. So you can assume that, he's going to roam. And if you've ever seen LCS, if you've ever seen any game in solo queue, you know that it's probably going to be a Clown Fiesta bot lane. Thresh knows, or Jax pings very nicely that danger bot lane, so that's good. Thresh lanterns you out, which is really good. This mistake here is playing up here. There's no reason to be playing around this area here. This is the death area. You know they're going to be in that brush, so Thresh walks up and dies for it. Literally dies for nothing. You pop your heal to do your best, and then you flash. So the only thing you personally could have done better here is ping Thresh back and not use your summoner flash, because at this point I understand using heal. That's good. But using your flash here, you're already exhausted, you're dead. There's nothing you can do. It's either give Lee Sin, Yasuo, or Caitlyn the kill. It really doesn't matter. Evelyn is coming bot lane during this. She can't really do much, though. Then she ults for no reason. Ugh. Okay, I'm glad you didn't write that, because that's not completely Evelyn's fault. So what Evelyn needs to be doing right now is she needs to be coming straight bot lane, but I'm focusing on you. Since Evelyn needs to come straight bot lane here, and she doesn't, you should know smart enough, you should know better to not be here. Now, as soon as Lee Sin shows up there, he shows up on the minimap. Thresh should not be here. This is not what Thresh should do. This is what you should do. But this is the mistake. He walks up, goes trying to get a ward here, and then he just gets collapsed on. Evelyn is coming here as fast as she can, but she shouldn't have gone this way. She should have gone straight through lane. And while it is a mistake, she couldn't have gone this way. Even if she does come this way like she does, she can't do anything. So if she comes this way, she dies for it automatically. So this is not what she should do. She should be going this way at this point. So I'm glad you didn't write that, because yeah, Evelyn should have been here earlier, but that was definitely not her fault, because you knew Ezreal, or you knew that Yasuo was coming down, you knew Lee Sin was likely going to be there with them. So the best you could have done is backed off from the tower. Even with Evelyn there. So that's good. Or I'm glad you didn't write that, because that just tilts people. Dude, this Lee Sin is everywhere. But Lee Sin is mid lane, and he disappeared on the minimap. Right now, what the heck are you guys doing? You cannot push this far up. There's a Lee Sin somewhere over here. Oh, wow, he went top lane. Wow. Okay, so that tells me Lee Sin is actually just bad. Oh, well. So, I don't know what you're doing here. You're just literally wasting time. You're running back and forth in the jungle, taking the most strange paths I've ever seen in my life. You clear the wave, you go for the ultimate on Lee Sin. Do you get it killed? Oh, where's the assist? No, you don't get that. That's sad. But yeah, now you just wasted time walking top lane. There's pretty much zero reason for you to go bot to top. There's pretty much never a reason for that to ever happen, unless it's like late game. So that was a pretty big waste of time. You could have been doing other things. Like handling the mid wave instead of having Veigar do it because he was dead. I like that you warded the red buff, so that was nice. Okay. So Eve is doing red buff. Yasuo shows up. Eve smites it. Okay, she pings assists. He flash hits you. Ouch. Yeah, this is a big one. This game's over. What are you typing if you ask her how it's going wrong? Okay. I can tell at this point you're really frustrated. There's literally right here. There is zero reason for you guys to try and fight this. The only reason you come up is so she doesn't die. The only reason you come up here is you prevent Yasuo from all-inning her alone. Yeah, you should have took the lantern. Oh god, that sucks. Yeah, there's no reason to even try that, honestly. That's just unfortunate. You guys couldn't have fight that. The best thing you could have done is just helped Evelyn not die. This is not okay. This literally is... First of all, it's wrong, because you can't fight anyways. You cannot fight a level 10 Yasuo with Lee Sin coming down, or not Lee Sin coming down, with the Caitlyn and the Janna coming up. You just can't do it. Yes, Veigar was collapsing, but at that point, Yasuo already got his ultimate on you and Evelyn. So, like... That statement alone is just wrong. And all it's going to do is piss Evelyn off and tilt her, which is going to make her play worse. So if I have another thing I suggest for you is just really don't type. Like it's just bad, because I can guarantee you that whether or not this was meant in like a sarcastic asshole way or not, I can guarantee you Evelyn probably read it as a sarcastic asshole remark, which is not good for Evelyn's state of mind, which is not good for your state of mind. It's honestly best when you die like that, or when you die because of something that's really just unfortunate. Just sit back and say, son of a gun, that sucked, but it's okay. Chill out, just focus on me. Because if you focus on you, you don't have to worry about Evelyn, you don't have to worry about Veigar. Regardless of the fact that Jax is feeding, Veigar's feeding, doesn't matter. You can assume, or you can just say that you know you're going to lose this game. There's really no reason for you to say anything else. You just know. Jax is like 1 in 10, Veigar's like 1 in 6 or something like that. And at this point, it's pretty much over. But yeah, working on communication is pretty big, because if you tilt your jungler, then fuck you, bot lane, you suck, or fuck you, Evelyn, you suck, or it's just stupid mom jokes or something like that. It's not good. That lowers your chances of winning. So yeah, I understand League of Legends is frustrating. I understand people are stupid. I understand Evelyn made mistakes. I understand Jack made mistakes. I understand Veigar makes mistakes. But you gotta understand, you make mistakes too. And whether or not you made mistakes this game, it always happens. Like, you can make mistakes any game at random times. You know, that just happens. Evelyn might be a god-tier Evelyn player, but she could have made one mistake here that cost the game. Which, granted, sucks, but cut her some slack, you know? Like, I understand it's a tilter for you. It's definitely a tilter for Evelyn. Like, she knows she's not playing her best this game, as do you. So, like, it's just something that really diminishes solo queue, in my opinion, because people just, their state of mind just goes down the toilet. But like little things, that's kind of what I want to focus on with you, is the fact that I think this game's over. There's really not much more to VOD review. So let me go to this. Yeah, you cannot do this. Do you know they're collapsing on you? Yeah. Yeah, that's okay. So there's three things I want to focus on with you. There's 3 main factors that you need to focus on. Is one, it's kind of similar to the last guy, honestly, is you need to understand, actually, he's not so similar to the last guy, because there are basics that you are missing. But like right, where is it? You get chunked by Caitlyn and you have to back. Like a stupid amount of chunked. It's right here, I think, right? Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh god, don't sneeze! Okay. So the number one thing you need to understand for laning purposes is using minions and minion pockets of aggro and defensive lines. So right here, leading up to this, you're okay, you're farming under tower, which is good. But why are you walking up on this side? You shouldn't be there. You should, instead, be walking here or here. You can get the same effect of farming by being behind those minions. And this is just a perfect example of it, because there's no reason for you to be up there. So learning to play around your minions and around minion waves in these pockets is really important for improving your personal laning phase. So that's number 1. Number 2 is look at the damn minimap and look at the tab screen. Like, those are 2 things that people just incredibly underestimate. Like right now, you don't know. Let me see. When was the last time you tabbed? You saw it. You tabbed. Long time ago. Okay, but you get my point. Is using the tab screen in the minimap, you get so much information that you're not utilizing. And yeah, you're bot lane, so you don't necessarily need to know that Kled is under his tower right now, but you do, or you should know, that Yasuo has 4 kills, and oh fuck, if a Yasuo shows up, I don't want any part of that. And here comes the Thresh kill. Okay. That leads me to my next point. is communicating with pings. Is instead of chatting, because you seem to be someone who gets relatively frustrated based on the game and how it's going and other people. Based upon that information, I suggest you just don't type unless you actually work on it. I used to be a salty son of a gun until I realized, wait a second, I suck too. And while it's important to have self-confidence and, have confidence in your abilities, it's also important to realize that you make mistakes as well. And no one likes to be made fun of or shit on for making mistakes. It's just how it works, human nature. So doing something like that is just not good. And granted, the thing that you typed wasn't even really angry or malicious intent, but at the same time, it's League of Legends, so you can pretty much assume that Evelyn took it as that. If you don't have anything to say that's positive, I really wouldn't type it at all. I would just 100% communicate with pings. And I don't mean spam. I don't mean spam question mark pings. I don't mean spam danger pings. Actually, no. Spamming danger pings isn't bad, especially if you know someone's about to get screwed. But communicating with pings is actually really important, so I really highly suggest you do that. Let me see this. What did you build? Mana Moon and Ionian Boots into Triforce. That's a mistake. Just 100% I think a mistake. One, you're behind in lane and in the game in general, so Triforce is just not ideal. Two, the entire enemy team is full attack damage. They're full AD. So the Iceborne Gauntlet would be amazing for having some extra armor and survivability. Granted, you get some health from the Triforce, but still, it's not anything really comparatively to the amount of utility you would get from the Iceborne Gauntlet. So your itemization could use some work as well. Because that's just standard. That's literally something you should just understand. This is not a pro builds guide. This is literally play towards the game, and that's a Kled, or that's a Janna, that's a Kled, that's a Caitlyn. So, even their support isn't bringing any damage to it. So it's 100% AD damage. With a Yasuo, there's so much ED here, I don't think, even if you're ahead, go Triforce. I think Iceborne Gauntlet is the way to go. Honestly, I'd probably even go Ninja Tabai at this point because they have literally so much auto attack damage on their team. Alright, so the top three things, again, I'm just going to touch upon them right now. The top three things you can work upon is 1, your laning phase, working behind minion waves, staying safe behind them, using these pockets to avoid damage, like this Caitlyn's about to fuck you right now, because you weren't behind your minion waves. 2 is communication. If you can't say anything happy, do not type it at all. It's just not good. It's only bad for your games. All it does is diminish the quality of your teammates. That's all it does. It never does anything else. Only ever type something if it's good or if you're making a suggestion. And even then, be careful how you say it because people are salty sons of guns. Use pings more often because those are very good. Don't spam question mark pings, but you can use them to say danger, danger, something's happening, or just use them so your team is aware rather than typing. And 3, use your mini-map and use your tab screen. You get a lot of information from this that you are completely ignoring if you do not use them. And then perhaps one of the most important basics that you seem to miss is the build pathing. I know pro builds is really good. I know generally Ezreals like to build Triforce, Ionian Boots, but this is kind of one of those specific situations where I really think Iceborne Gauntlet, I really think Ninja Tabai, regardless of what you feel you need at this point, I really think that's most important. Just having a little bit of more survivability and some more utility with the Gauntlet would go miles in this game. And other than that, not too bad. I really don't think this game could have gone any better for you at this point. This is one of those games where I feel like the team did bring you down. Granted, you did not play the best either because, you can use the minimap too. You can use all of these tab screens, the minimap. You can use all of these to your advantage as well. So just as much as this guy does, just as much as Jax does, just as much as Evelyn does. So you should know anything that's happening, like the gank bot lane in a few minutes. You should know all of this. So granted, yeah, top lane fed. Granted, yeah, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. So granted, top lane fed, yeah. Granted, Veigar fed, yeah. but you should have known certain things were happening too. So if we're talking about your own individual play rather than winning this game, focusing on those 3 topics is huge. Other than that, this game was pretty much done. There's not much you could do. I know you were asking me what you could have possibly done to change this game's outcome, but I'm pretty sure at the end of it, Jax is like 0-10. So that's it. I'm pretty sure this is a loss. I don't even need to do that. Yeah, they got Baron. It's done. All right, well, that being said, I hope I helped. This wasn't really the best to go off of because there wasn't too much happening in bot lane per se. It was more based upon what the enemies were doing rather than what you were doing. So I hope it helped. If it didn't, I'm sorry. If it did, I'm glad, and I'd be happy to help you again. But with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and thank everyone else for watching as well. Hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all learned something, and I wish you all the very best of luck in solo queue.